Guys, it's Friday. I hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in today, guys. Today, I wanted to come to you to share my 5 tips for faking a clean home. Yes, guys, you can absolutely fake a clean home to those relatives, to those friends who have become accustomed to seeing your house a certain way, always nice and sparkling clean. But we all know that stuff happens, and we're not, always able to get in there and give our homes that deep cleaning. Well, I have 5 tips, guys, that have worked for me. I hope they work for you when I have to fake a clean house. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so tip number 1. This is the first tip. All right, so tip number 1, guys, everything in its place, all right? Pretty self-explanatory, right? But you would be surprised at how many people still have not grasped this concept. So I know that you guys have watched a plethora of home organization videos here on YouTube. So everything in your homes, I know they have their own little designated spot. So put that stuff back in the spot that it belongs in, that you have designated as its permanent home when you're finished using it. So if you are getting ready for work in the morning and you're having your morning cup of joe, you're in your bathroom, you're getting ready, you like to have your cup of coffee before work. Well, when you're heading downstairs to leave for the day, don't leave your cup in the bathroom. Guys, take it on back down to the kitchen with you. And speaking of kitchen, why are your hot curlers, your curling iron in there by the kitchen sink? Please take those items back upstairs to the bathroom if you've been doing T25 before work in the morning. Don't leave your sneakers downstairs in the family room. Put all that stuff away, because when you get back home from work, you're kind of rushing around, trying to get dinner and everything ready. You're tired, but you know what? You always have that neighbor, that relative, that friend who just likes to pop by. And you want your house to always appear clean. So if we put our items, the things that we're using, back in their designated spots, the spots that you have said these items are going to, stay in, our homes will always appear to be clean to our guests and family. All right, guys, so tip number two, clean up after your meals, okay? Now, this one I find personally a little bit difficult to do, especially after our larger meals, okay? But what I have found to work for me is making sure I clear off the table, whether it be the dining room table or our eat-in kitchen table. I make sure I clear away all of the dishes. Secondly, I make sure I clean off the stove. That means I put away all of the pots that I've cooked in. If we're having any leftovers, I go ahead and I store those things away. And what I do, guys, if I haven't been using any paper plates, but paper plates help also. If you really need to have your kitchen clean for the next day, or you guys are gonna have guests stopping over later in the day, use a paper plate, okay? We do it all the time. But if you don't want to use a paper plate, what you can do is just go ahead, like I said, clear off your stove, clear off your table, and make sure your countertops are clean, and then just put all the dishes very neatly into the sink. I kind of rinse them off, make sure there's no food still hanging around. No one wants to come over to your house and see, what you guys just ate hanging out in the sink. So I rinse the dishes off and just leave them there until I can, have a little time tomorrow or maybe later in the day to actually load them in the dishwasher. And the dishwasher isn't the problem. Loading the dishes in the dishwasher is not the problem for me. The problem for me comes with unloading the dishwasher. For whatever reason, our dishwasher doesn't dry 100% completely. Let me know if you guys have that issue also. I find that even though I run the dishwasher on the dry cycle, make sure, it's supposed to, heat dry the dishes, they're still coming out wet. So I have to go and then, dry the dishes, then put them away, then load the dishwasher. And that can be a little bit time consuming. But clearing off the table, like I said, and clearing off the stove and cleaning your countertops and just rinsing off your dishes, placing them in the sink will help your home seem a little bit cleaner than it would ordinarily be had you just left things out on the table and the stove and the countertop. All right, guys, so my third tip is going to be require your guests to respect your home. Yes. If you don't allow your guests to come into your home, or that would be family members and friends, okay? Everybody needs to respect your home. No one's helping you with that mortgage. No one's paying all those expensive property taxes. So they need to respect and abide by your rules when they enter your house, okay? So here in our home, you guys know that we do not wear shoes in the house. Well, first of all, I'm a germaphobe, okay? So that goes without saying. I don't want to step in anything when I walk downstairs for a glass of water that you've tracked in my house on the bottom of your shoes. You know what I'm saying? So no shoes in the house, okay? Shoes in the house also could, you don't know what people are stepping in. You don't know where they've been. So they track in certain stuff. Here in Georgia, we have this red clay. We have light carpets here in our house, light rugs here in the house. And so, if someone tracks in clay, red clay on the bottom of their shoes, then Eric and I are left with the expense of trying to get those rugs clean. And so down the road, when someone comes to visit, they're thinking our house is clean, but there are red spots all over the floor. No, you're gonna have to respect the house. We have shoes and socks provided for everyone when they come over, okay? Also, let's say you're having a get-together, a party, or just friends are stopping by and you offer them drinks and whatever. Limit them to a certain area of the house so that things don't get spilled all over your furniture. That has absolutely happened to us in the past, and we've had to replace an entire chair because we couldn't get the stain out. So asking your guests very politely, very nicely to respect your home, the rules of your home, will absolutely prevent you, from down the road having to do, in our case, shelling out, a couple of $100s for a new chair. Actually, it was more than a couple of $100s, but who's counting? Have your guests respect your home. That way, down the road, when you have people popping up, they're not looking at stains in the carpet, even though your house is clean, but they're like, oh my gosh, they're not cleaning the floors here. They're not looking at spots all over chairs because you have required that your guests respect your home. So that's tip number 3. Okay, guys, so tip number 4, we're on the home stretch, okay? So tip number 4 is going to kind of be similar to what I just said about having your guests respect your home, guys. You also want to make sure that your kids, all right, your little bambinos and your pets are also respecting your home, all right? Chase kind of knows the ropes around here, okay? He knows that he cannot eat all over the house. He knows that when he's finished with his games and things like that, he plays his video games in the theater room, he's not going to leave the controllers all over the chairs and stuff. He knows that he has to put those things away. Similarly, when we get that little puppy, Watson, who is coming, guys, he is coming. Someone asked, I believe it was in my last video, when can we expect Watson? Please go back and take a look at my last video where I did a decorate with me. I think it was the one right after our Disney vacation, but I talked about when Watson would be coming and what the holdup with him was, because he was actually supposed to have been here by now, but I've had a few problems. But anyway, what was I saying? having your kids and your pets respect your home. So Chase pretty much knows what to do. He knows the ropes. He has learned from just a small little baby. Once he could understand that, things go back in their place so that we can keep our home looking nice. We're not drawing on the walls. We never had a problem with Chase drawing on the wall. We never had a problem with the little fingerprints and everything like that. I do all the painting. I do all of the touch-up painting. And so, I didn't want to have to be going back behind him and getting his little smudgy fingerprints off the wall. So we taught him from an early age, okay? And so when Watson gets here, he will know that his toys and things like that, his little chew toys, those stay over in his little house, okay? He has the mud room. That's where all of his stuff goes. Watson will not eat all over the house, nor will he have full range of the house. He will not just be running wild throughout our house chewing up things. There will be rules in place for him also. And in so doing that, again, when we have people come into our home, they're not looking at, you know, chewed up baseboards, you know. No. He will abide by the rules of this house, just as Chase has done, just as Eric and I do. You know, we have rules for ourselves, these same rules that we kind of have in place for guests and family members. We do them also. Eric and I don't eat all over the house. We don't disrespect the house. You know, things are expensive. But we talked about bugs in the house a few videos ago. Respecting our home ourselves also cuts down on, you know, pests and insects, you know, just having full range all over the house. But anyway, that is tip number 4. Having your kids, having your pets, P-E-T-S, respect your home will keep your home looking as clean and seemingly clean as possible for when you have people, you know, just popping up. All right, guys, and finally we have made it to tip number 5. The last tip, guys, for faking a clean house is to make sure that you do not neglect the outside of your home, okay? The outside of your house, guys, is the first impression that people get when they're visiting you or when they're driving by your home. When people drive by my house, I want them to think, wow, that person right there must really be doing some nice cleaning, or they must have a beautiful home on the inside. Because if someone takes that good a care of the outside of their house, gosh, what must the inside look like? So when you have people coming over, or just for yourself in general, you don't want to have old automobiles in your front yard sitting on bricks. You don't want it to be the, you know, height of the growing season and you haven't cut your grass in 5 months. You don't want to have, you know, trash out there, or you've left your trash can outside for, you know, for a week and they picked the trash up, you know, 4 days ago. It's things like that, guys, that really detract from the clean person that you are. You can have a beautiful home on the inside, but no one will ever know, especially if they're not actually coming into your house, how beautiful the inside of your house or your home is if you don't keep up the outside. All right, so don't neglect the outside of your house. That is my final tip for faking a clean house. Well, that is it, guys. Those are my 5 tips. This was a quick video, but those are my 5 tips for faking a clean home. All right, let me know what your tips are for faking a clean home. I will tell you though, out of the 5, the one that I absolutely have to do is taking care of the outside, okay? I don't play around with that one. You won't pass by this house and, oh my gosh, who lives there? Absolutely not. We take care of that front yard, specifically the front yard. We take care of the backyard too, but the front yard we absolutely have to do, because again, that's what people see first. But anyway, let me know below what you do to fake a clean house. All right, thanks so much for stopping in today, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.